Hello everyone and welcome back. You want to believe how much this old coin is worth today. This $1 coin could change your life forever. Stop spending this coin, it might be worth thousands. Most people ignore this coin, but collectors are going crazy for it. This small mint mark could make you rich overnight. If your coin looks like this, don't sell it cheap. This $1979 coin hides a secret you must see. Only a few people know the real value of this coin. Check your old coins, you might be sitting on a fortune. This tiny detail separates a $1 coin from a $10,000 coin. They told me it was worthless, until I saw the auction price. What if I told you this ordinary coin is actually super rare? Collectors are paying insane money for this version. This coin mistake turned into a jackpot for one lucky finder. Your pocket change could make you rich. Here's how. The difference between rich and broke collectors is knowing this coin. Don't scroll. This one tip could make your old coin valuable. One tiny mark made this coin worth thousands of dollars. I checked my coin box and couldn't believe what I found. This coin's value just exploded. Find out why before it's too late. 1979 Day Susan B. Anthony dollar coins. Have you ever come across this unusual looking dollar coin and thought, wait, is this really worth only $1? Well, before you spend it, stop right there. Because this 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today in 2025. Depending on one small detail you might not even notice at first glance. This is the 1979 Day Susan B. Anthony dollar coins. The first U.S. coin to feature a real woman, not a symbolic figure like Liberty, but a true American reformer and suffragist. Susan B. Anthony, who fought for women's right to vote. This coin was introduced in 1979, replacing the Eisenhower dollar. And it was meant to be smaller and more convenient. But it didn't turn out quite as planned because people kept confusing it with the quarter. Let us take a closer look. On the front of the coins, or the obverse, you'll see the portrait of Susan B. Anthony herself, facing right, with the inscriptions Liberty above. In God we trust to the right, and the date 1979 at the bottom. Around her image are 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies of the United States. Flip it over, and on the reverse, you'll find the same design used on the Eisenhower dollar, the Apollo 11 mission insignia. An eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its claws, symbolizing peace. The design includes the Earth in the background and the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $1. But here's what makes the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar so interesting. It was minted in 3 different locations. Philadelphia, T mint mark or no mint mark. Denver, D mint mark. San Francisco, S mint mark. Now, here's where collectors get excited, especially about the 1979 P coins. Because there are 2 different varieties. The wide rims, near date, and the narrow rims, far date. The narrow rim is the common type, with the numbers of the date appearing far from the edge of the coin. But the wide rim or near date version has the numbers closer to the edge, making it far rarer. In 2025, a 1979 P wide rim Susan B. Anthony dollar in excellent uncirculated condition can sell for $500 to $1,000, and in perfect mint state grades like MS67 or higher, it can even reach $3,000 or more at auction. Regular 1979 P narrow rim coins are much more common, usually worth $1 to $3 in circulated condition, and $5 to $15 in uncirculated condition. The 1979 Day Susan B. Anthony dollar, made in Denver, also has value depending on its condition. Most are worth $1 to $3. But pristine examples graded MS66 or higher can fetch $40 to $100. And don't forget the 1979 S-proof coins from San Francisco. These were made specifically for collectors with a mirror-like finish. There are 2 types here too. The Type 1, filled S, where the mint mark looks thick or blobbed. The Type 2, clear S, which is sharper and rarer. The 1979 S-Type 2 proof dollar is especially sought after it can sell for anywhere between $150 and $500, depending on its condition and certification. Even though the Susan B. Anthony dollar wasn't very popular in circulation, it is now a piece of history that collectors truly appreciate. It marked a bold moment in U.S. coinage, celebrating a woman who changed the course of American rights forever. So if you have one of these coins, here's what to do. Check under Susan B. Anthony's portrait for the mint mark that's the small letter near her shoulder. If it is a P, look closely at the rim and the date spacing. If the date looks very close to the edge, you might just have the rare wide rim variety. Even a coin that's slightly worn can hold surprising value, so don't rush to spend it or clean it. Get it checked or graded by a professional coin service like PCGS or NGC. In 2025, collectors are still chasing these coins, especially the 1979 P wide rim, the 1979 S-Type 2 proof, and any mint errors. Some double strikes, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws have sold for over $5,000 at auction. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar may look simple, but it tells a powerful story of equality, innovation, and American history. A coin that was once overlooked is now turning heads once again, proving that sometimes, even the smallest dollar can make the biggest impact. So next time you spot this coin, take a moment to look closer, because that old, silvery dollar in your hand could be hiding a piece of rare history worth far more than you think. 1979 S. Susan B. Anthony dollar coins. Have you ever seen this small silver-colored dollar coin shining like a mirror and wondered why does it look so different from the others? Well, you might be holding one of the most beautiful and valuable proof coins in U.S. history, the 1979 S. Susan B. Anthony dollar coins. And here's the shocking part: some of these special proof versions are now selling for hundreds, even up to $1,000 in 2025, depending on their variety and condition. Let us start from the beginning. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced in 1979 to honor one of America's most courageous leaders, Susan B. Anthony, the woman who dedicated her life to the fight for women's right to vote. It replaced the larger Eisenhower dollar. And for the first time ever, a real historical woman appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. Now, the 1979 S-proof coin was not made for everyday use. It was struck only at the San Francisco Mint, with a shiny, mirror-like finish. Specifically for collectors, proof coins are created using highly polished dies and planchets, and each coin is struck multiple times to give it that deep, glassy reflection and razor-sharp detail. If you look closely at your coin, you'll see Susan B. Anthony's portrait facing right, with the word Liberty at the top. In God we trust to the right, and the year 1979 below her image. The small S mint mark near her shoulder tells you this proof was made in San Francisco. Flip it over, and the reverse design shows the Apollo 11 mission Eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch of peace, the same iconic image used on the Eisenhower dollar. But here's where things get exciting for collectors. There are two different types of 1979 S-proof coins, and the difference lies entirely in the mint mark. The first version is called the Type 1, filled S. On this coin, the S mint mark looks thick, almost blobbed, as if the loops of the S are partially filled. It's beautiful, but it's the common variety. Most proof sets contain this type. Then comes the rare one, the Type 2, clear S. Here, the S is sharply defined, perfectly shaped, with clear openings in the curves. This second variety was struck after the mint fixed the design late in 1979, making it far scarcer and highly desirable among collectors. Now, let us talk about value in 2025. A 1979 S-Type 1 proof coin. Depending on condition, Usually sells for around $5 to $20 if it is in its original proof set or capsule. But the 1979 S Type 2 proof, the rare clear S version, is where the real money lies. In 2025, certified examples graded PR69 Deep Cameo by PCGS or NGC can sell for $300 to $500. And the absolute top grade coins, PR70 Deep Cameo, have reached auction prices over $1,000. And remember, the value keeps climbing as collectors chase flawless examples with strong contrast between frosted details and mirror-like fields. Some rare error proofs, such as double-struck examples or off-center strikes, have even exceeded $2,000 in private sales. It is amazing to think that this small $1 coin, originally part of a simple proof set sold for just a few dollars, can now be worth hundreds of times that amount. The 1979 S proof also holds historical importance beyond its value. It marked the start of a bold new era for U.S. coinage, celebrating equality and leadership through Susan B. Anthony's legacy, while ushering in a new generation of smaller dollar coins. Even though the design was short-lived and circulation versions were often mistaken for quarters, the proof strikes have stood the test of time as some of the most detailed, elegant pieces of the late 20th century. So, if you own one of these coins, here's what to do. Handle it carefully. Proof coins scratch easily. Never polish or clean them. Keep them sealed in their original holder or send them for professional grading. And most importantly, check that mint mark. If your coin shows that sharp, clear S, congratulations, you've got the rare Type 2 proof that collectors are hunting for even today. In 2025, the Susan B. Anthony dollar may not be in every pocket, but it is still in the hearts of collectors who recognize its brilliance both in design and in history. A coin that once struggled for acceptance has now become a cherished reminder of progress, courage, and timeless value. So next time you see that shining 1979 S proof coin, don't overlook it, because that tiny S could turn an ordinary dollar into an extraordinary treasure. 1980 S Susan B. Anthony dollar coins. Have you ever wondered how a small, shiny coin from 1980 could hold such surprising value today? Well, the coin you're looking at isn't just a regular dollar, it is a 1980 S Susan B. Anthony dollar proofs. One of the most mirror-like, detailed, and collectible pieces of American coinage ever struck. And here's the exciting part. In 2025, some of these proof coins are worth hundreds of dollars, depending on their grades, rarities, and mint mark varieties. Let us go back to the story behind this coin. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was first introduced in 1979, marking a historic change for U.S. currency. It was the first circulating coin to feature a real American woman, the legendary suffragist Susan B. Anthony, who fought her entire life for women's right to vote, replacing the larger Eisenhower dollar. This new smaller dollar was meant to be modern, convenient, and meaningful. But the 1980 S proof wasn't made for everyday use. It was specially crafted for collectors at the San Francisco Mint. Each 1980 S proof coin was struck using polished dies and carefully prepared planchets. These coins were struck multiple times under high pressure, giving them a deep mirror-like background with beautifully frosted details on the portrait, the kind of finish that makes the design almost glow. When you tilt the coins, you can see the glass smooth surface reflecting light like a mirror. That is the unmistakable sign of a proof coin. On the obverse, ULLC Susan B. Anthony's portrait facing right, surrounded by 11 stars representing the original American colonies. The inscriptions read, "Liberty above, in God we trust," to the right, and the year 1980 below. Look closely near her shoulder. That small S mint mark tells you it was made in San Francisco. Turn it over, and you'll find the stunning reverse, the Apollo 11 mission eagle landing on the moon, holding an olive branch, surrounded by more stars, and the words United States of America $1. This reverse design connects the coin to the Eisenhower dollar series, symbolizing peace, progress, and exploration. Now, let us talk about what makes the 1980 S-proof dollar so interesting to collectors in 2025. Just like the previous year S issue, there are actually two major varieties of this coin, the Type 1 filled S and the Type 2 clear S. The Type 1 version shows a mint mark where the loops of the S look a bit blobbed or filled in. This was caused by dye wear or polishing during minting. It is the more common variety, as thousands of proof sets contained this version. But the Type 2, the clear S variety, is the real treasure. Here, the mint mark is crisp, clearly defined, and perfectly shaped with open curves. It was struck later after the mint corrected its design punch, making the clear S much scarcer and more desirable today. Collectors can instantly recognize it once they know what to look for. Now for the most asked question, what is it worth in 2025? If you have the 1980 S Type 1 proof, and it is still in its original proof set, it usually sells for around $5 to $15 depending on condition. But the 1980 S Type 2 clear S proof is where the value jumps. Certified examples graded PR69 Deep Cameo by PCGS or NGC can sell for $200 to $400. And coins in the absolute perfect grade of PR70 Deep Cameo can reach $600 to $1,200 in 2025 auctions. Some flawless, ultra-deep cameo examples have even gone higher when sold to serious collectors who specialize in Susan B. Anthony dollars. And remembers, any proof coin with strong contrast deep mirrored fields and frosty white design always brings a premium. If you see your coin gleaming like black glass behind frosty details, that's the look buyers love most. Beyond the price, this coin carries a deeper significance. It represents a turning point, honoring a woman who changed history and symbolizing America's space achievements all in one piece of metal. Even though the Susan B. Anthony series ended in 1981, it remains a favorite among numismatists for its historical impact and its beautiful proof strikes. If you own a 1980 S proof dollar, keep it safe in its original holder or have it professionally graded. Never polish it. Cleaning will destroy that mirror finish and lower its value instantly. And most importantly, check that mint mark carefully, because if your coin has that sharp, clear S, you might be holding one of the rarest proof varieties from the entire Susan B. Anthony series. In 2025, collectors continue to chase these coins for their beauty, rarities, and the history they represent. A small coin, yes, but one that carries a big story about equality, courage, and the progress of the American spirit. So the next time you see that gleaming 1980 S Susan B. Anthony dollar proofs, remember it is more than just a coin. It is a mirror of history, and possibly a hidden treasure waiting in plain sight. 1980 P Susan B. Anthony dollar coins. Have you ever held a coin that looks ordinary but hides a piece of American history? This small silver-colored dollar might seem simple, but it tells the story of a woman who helped reshape a nation, and it might still surprise you with its value in 2025. We are talking about the 1980 P Susan B. Anthony dollars, struck at the Philadelphia Mint. A coin that once puzzled Americans but is now finding its place among collectors. Let us start with its origin. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced in 1979 to replace the large Eisenhower dollar. The idea was to create a smaller, lighter coin that would fit in vending machines and be easier to carry. But people kept mistaking it for a quarter, and it quickly disappeared from circulation. Still, in 1980s, the Mint produced millions more, including the Philadelphia issue, which today remains one of the key coins in the short-lived Anthony series. The design is powerful and historic. On the obverse, we see Susan B. Anthony's determined portrait, surrounded by 11 stars, liberty, and in God we trust. Just below the date 1980, you'll notice no mint mark. That's how you know it came from Philadelphia. On the reverse, you'll find the dramatic Apollo 11 eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch, a symbol of peace and the human spirit reaching beyond Earth. This design connects the Susan B. Anthony dollar to the Eisenhower dollar, sharing that same lunar landing heritage. Now, even though the 1980p wasn't made as a proof, some circulation coins were so sharply struck and well preserved that they almost look like proofs. Collectors call them specimen-like, or proof-like examples. These coins have mirror-bright fields and strong frosted details, and they are much harder to find than regular strikes. Let us talk numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced around 27 million of these coins, so most are common in worn condition. If you find one in your pocket change, it's usually worth $1.25 to $2 today in 2025. But the story changes completely for coins in top mint state. A 1980p graded MS65, brilliant uncirculated, can sell for $15 to $25. Out MS66, prices rise to around $50 to $75. Move up to MS67, and you're looking at a coin that's rare, with values between $250 and $400. And in the elite grade of MS68, nearly flawless with clean surfaces and full strike, these can reach $1.500 to $2.000 in 2025 auctions. That's right, a single perfectly preserved example of this small dollar can bring four figures from serious collectors. There's also an exciting twist for error hunters. Some 1980p dollars show planchet clips, off-center strikes, or weak rim details. Each of those can add premium value, depending on how dramatic and well-preserved the error is. Even more interesting are the proof-like surface examples, which can command extra attention when certified by grading services. So if you have a 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar with no mint mark, take a close look. Check its surfaces, edges, and luster. If it shines with that sharp cartwheel, glow, and minimal scratches, it could be worth far more than a single dollar. Store it in a soft holder or capsule. Never clean it. And if it appears unusually sharp, consider getting it graded by PCGS or NGC. While the 1980p wasn't loved by the public when it first appeared, today it stands as a symbol of change, celebrating the first American woman on U.S. coinage and marking the nation's shift towards smaller, modern dollars. Each piece tells a story of equality, innovation, and the challenges of changing how people think about money. So in 2025, if you come across a 1980p Susan B. Anthony dollar, don't overlook it. That dull little coin could be a sparkling connection to history and maybe even a miniature treasure hiding right in your collection. 1999p Susan B. Anthony dollar coins. Have you ever come across a small silver-colored dollar from 1999 and thought, wait, weren't these coins from the 70s? Well, you're absolutely right. But there's a twist. This little coin, the 1999p Susan B. Anthony dollar, is one of the most surprising comebacks in U.S. mint history. And in 2025, it's turning into a serious collectible. Let us dive in. After the original Susan B. Anthony dollars were issued between 1979 and 1981, the public basically rejected them. People thought they looked too much like quarters, and most ended up sitting in bank vaults. The mint didn't strike them again for nearly 2 decades. But in 1999, something unexpected happened. The Treasury's stockpile of small dollars finally ran out, and the U.S. Postal Service needed coins for their self-service stamp vending machines. So, for one last time, the mint revived the Susan B. Anthony dollar before the new golden Sacagawea dollar was introduced in 2000. The 1999 issue came from two mints, Philadelphia P and Denver D, and a special proof version from San Francisco. Yes, the one we're talking about here. The 1999p was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and it's the final circulation strike of the entire Susan B. Anthony series. That alone makes it special. Now let us take a closer look. The obverse shows the same strong portrait of Susan B. Anthony, the legendary women's rights activist who fought for voting equality. She is surrounded by 13 stars. The word, liberty, above, and in God we trust. To her right, below her neck, you'll find the date 1999. And just beside it, the P Mint mark the sign that it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the familiar Apollo 11 lunar landing design, the eagle clutching an olive branch, descending toward the moon's surface. It's the same reverse used on the Eisenhower dollar and every Susan B. Anthony coins. This connection to the moon landing makes it one of the most symbolic reverses in all of modern American coinage. Now let us talk about rarity and value. In 1999, about 29.6 million coins were minted in Philadelphia. That's not a tiny number, but because these were struck for 1 year only after a long gap, and right before the Sacagawea dollar's debut, collectors have grown more interested in them every year. In 2025, the value of a 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar depends heavily on condition. Circulated coins, the kind you might still find in change, are typically worth $1.25 to $2.00. In uncirculated, mint state condition, prices climb. A coin graded MS64 might sell for around $5 to $8, while MS65 pieces go for $15 to $25. Coins graded MS66 are scarcer, often bringing $50 to $80. And if you have a superb MS67 or higher, those can reach $250 to $400. Sometimes more if the coin shows strong luster and strike quality. And yes, there are a few exciting error varieties. 2. Collectors look for off-center strikes, broad strikes, double die obverses, and planchet errors. Each of these can multiply the coin's value depending on the type and visibility of the mistake. A clean, dramatic mint error could be worth hundreds, even up to $1.000 or more, depending on rarity and demand. Another interesting fact, since this was the last year before the new golden dollar, the mint also sold special uncirculated sets that included this coin, making it a transition piece in U.S. coinage. Because of that, many collectors want one just to complete their dollar collection from Eisenhower to Sacagawea. If you own a 1999 inspect it carefully under lights. Look for clean fields, full hair details, and a bright cartwheel luster. If it's sharp and uncirculated, you might want to send it for grading through PCGS or NGC. High-grade certified examples continue to rise in value every year. So, even though it's a modern coin, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar carries huge historical weight. It's the bridge between two eras, the last of the silver-colored small dollars, and the first step toward the golden modern era of U.S. coins. In short, if you find one of these in a drawer or coin jar, don't overlook it. It's more than just a dollar, it's a time capsule from the end of the 20th century, marking the return and final farewell of America's first woman on circulating coinage. And who knows, in 2025 and beyond, this final year issue might just turn into one of the standout modern collectibles of the Susan B. Anthony series. Thank you for watching the entire video. You can tell us in the comments what we should make the next video about.